So, I just did a thing, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing yet. I just hope it's not a money-losing thing. I just bought an abandoned state trailer. What do you think? Did I just screw up? I did not have $2,300 at Christmas time. The process has not been ideal. Originally I was bidding on one that was a couple of years newer, and to be honest, it was full of cooler stuff that I really hoped that I could then flip to help cover the cost of the trailer. But the auction closed early, and I know you're thinking, they can't do that. That's what I thought too. Apparently, some lady called me from Utah that night. I thought it was a spam. So I ignored the call. And that was when they told me it closed early. So I ended up having to get into a bidding war on this monster. I ended up paying $2,300 all in on it. In the pictures, it had two 100-gallon propane tanks still sitting here hooked up. So we're gonna have to talk to them about that. I bet their argument will be, well, you're welcome to return it to Missoula and get a refund, or you can suck it up, princess. I suspect that's what it's going to be. Let's see what's inside really quick. So the reason I wanted the two that I wanted, well, is they both had roofs that clearly didn't leak. That broken window wasn't in the picture. So the roofs were okay on these two, which is really sort of what I was hoping for. I don't care so much about the rest of it. The current plan will be to use it to move the house here in the winter, because we can just park it, load it, don't worry about rain or snow, and then drive it out and unload it. What do you think that thing is? Oh, I wasn't done telling the story. Sorry. So I bid on one. It was another 88 like this. Not this one. And I won that bid, and I paid for that bid, and then I got a phone call from here saying there had been a mix-up. Turns out they double listed it, and since the other guy had paid for it slightly ahead of me, he got to keep his. But that guy, Brad, he truly was cool, and he said to keep an eye out for another one for me. And then later that day he called and said they had this one here and they'd give it to me for the same price, and I said yes. So that's that story short. So yeah, my pipe dreams of paying for part of this just vanished. There's something down in there. And unfortunately it just vanished. There's lots of sacks and stuff. There's a giant, what I presume to be water tank. So, looking there, I'm not sure there was water in it. Whatever it is empty. Got a hell of a valve on it, and that valve, I guess I don't know. Maybe that's the winterization valve. That just seems to dump into the sink stuff, which all goes out on the floor. Yeah, I don't know if it was a good thing to do. It certainly wasn't $2,300 that I had. It's been a lot of videos since you've seen me. We've been working our butt off. Wife's mother is not doing particularly well, so some of this just isn't a priority right now, no matter how much I would have preferred for that to be. Yeah, these tires are really dry rotted. At least they all held air. I got them all up over 50 psi, and I got 2 spares in the truck with a dismounted third. So I'm hoping that'll be enough to get her home. I need to be out of the yard here in about 20 minutes or they'll lock me in. We'll look at it a little closer a bit later and see if we can figure out what it was for. Got a lot of those. Yeah, I think it was a road bitumen testing trailer. I'm gonna have to either bootleg a trailer plug, because it's the little tiny one, not the 5-pin rectangle, or the big 7 and 9 pins that we use on our trailers, but that really old one. Last time I checked, there was an adapter for that in the glove box of the pickup. So never used it. Be my chance. Hopefully I can get something twinkling on the back. If I get anything twinkling on the back, we are out of here. Oh baby, those are the 4-ways. That's good enough for me. That is absolutely good enough for me. And it's the first time I've ever used this little adapter. I had to clear the mud daubers out. What are the odds that stays going? I'm going to move those things. 20 minutes. I can use the thing to unload the garage and then basically use it as storage. Storage around here for something this size. Probably around 80 bucks a month. So only a couple of years she would have paid for herself that way. And then at the mining camp in Alder, the shed has collapsed. So this might be a perfectly, rather than me making or fixing, this might be a perfectly good excuse to park it out there. It's got a ladder on the back. Let's go see what's on the roof. Obviously it should be resealed, and all the joints should be resealed. It's got a pucker up front there, but I'm still just tickled. Tickled the lights are going to work long enough to get me out of the giant metropolis that is Missoula. But yeah, I know these things are 5 stages of sketchy. I can actually see cords in those cracks, but it doesn't have to go very far. It doesn't have to go very fast, and not all of them have to make it all the way home. That would be a shame to lose. That's metal up in there. Since it'd be a shame to lose those wheel wells. All right, before they start throwing me out, I gotta clean this thing and get out of here. Heck, it's even the right turn signal that's blinking. I thought I'd have them crossed. Towed home. No problems. I'm gonna have to write them. I'm gonna argue, again, I'm sure I won't get reimbursed or anything, but I'm gonna argue that the ads for the other trailers did very clearly say the contents, no decision had been made yet, and so you shouldn't expect to get them. But I would argue this is not contents. I would also argue it is standard equipment, and that it was bolted in place. That's just full of blocks. Yeah. Put a little plank across here. The wife wasn't necessarily completely on board with this idea, so it's probably best if she doesn't see it in the current state. Guess what I just learned? Apparently, I have over 2 dozen $86.39 charges to Apple services on my credit cards. So, yeah, they're turned off now, right before Christmas. Okay, I had a chance to inspect it and clean it up. Now, the one I was bidding on, the one they moved the auction up an hour, and I wasn't available to fight to the end. What it was full of was a whole lot of mining stuff. There were hoppers that we could have reutilized in our mining claims, and at least 2 sets of stacked mesh screens. The interlocking mesh, it sorts particulate size. It was a couple of $100 worth of stuff that'll almost certainly end up in a dumpster. But let's see, spilled milk, let's see what we got out of this. It's not as impressive. I got a couple of wheel chocks. I mean, they're nice and all. Probably 50 bucks worth. A couple of little bits of hand tools. Ashtray from Sundowner Hotel and Casino. Bunch of stuff. Guess I ever want to tag out some Department of Transportation equipment, I can. Just jump in the file folders. Napkins. Brackets. Forms for classification and testing of asphalt. Occupational hazard forms. It's a little bit of scrap metal. An air conditioner missing both of its knobs. Empty first aid kits. I admit it's a pretty cool retro green chair, but probably not something I would use. It's a box of garbage. The door ripped off of that on the way home. I got all of this stuff, right? There are clamps and cups. And they all go with this machine right here. If I'm going to recoup any money, this would be the one. So this motor right here drives a gearbox, has a worm gear that pushes this up. This micrometer, oh, there it popped loose. Basically, they pushes up on this ring, and that micrometer would give you a specific deflection based on power. These are the cups, I assume, for testing asphalt. That's what it appears to be. Anyways, there's a whole lot of those. Maybe that has some value. There's no cap for that, and it's full of water. Got a couple of canvas bags. Metal tray, miscellaneous junk, box of rags. So basically nothing. Although there's some metal there. My current plan would be to basically take all of at least this out, that desk in the front, and just have an open trailer. So I'll get a little plywood and some steel. The closet's it's stuck now, but there's nothing in it. The closet, since it's all trimmed out, I'll probably leave it. Little tiny power box. You know, maybe that water tank would have some use, but I mean, I don't. Best I can tell, this is the only connection, is a hand sprayer off the bottom of the thing. So again, some sort of soil compaction machine. Here's hoping somebody will see that and be like, "Oh, that's an easy $1,000 with all those cups." That's what I want to hear. Waterlogged clipboard and a thermometer. You gotta stick in something to read it. All 4 tires held air, and the other trailers, at best, you had to replace 2. Most of them you had to replace all 4, so I guess that's a bonus, and maybe that bonus makes up for the 2 missing 100-pound propane bottles that should be bolted to the front of this thing. I'm pretty sure I won't get any satisfaction on that. So I put it back to you guys again. It's $2,300 all in, not counting going down and getting it. I think it was a mistake.